I am so glad this is happening. Even though absolutely nothing was really going to come out of it. But I believe this is a warning to like Microsoft, Xbox. Because here's the thing about what games used to do in the past, right? I think games were even under $50 at one point, and I guess I was a child, so I couldn't play. Banger after banger after banger was coming out, but I couldn't play them all because I was young. So you kind of had to settle for what you had. But you understood that. Oh well, this is still a banger. Like I had to settle for. I played Halo. The Elder Scrolls series. Didn't play Morrowind till later. Oblivion. You know, we had the Nintendo 64, so I played the Kirby games, the Mario games. Then we had a PlayStation 1, and my favorite game was like Vigilant 8. The Dukes of Hazard game. And we had a PC, and I played the Hot Wheels game too. But I played some decent games and some popular games like Halo. And I played Half Life on the goofy netbooks, Minecraft on the netbook. But in that situation, right? Games were good. Like games actually were an art form, and even though bad games were still, a company taking a risk, making an investment, and sometimes it paid off, sometimes it didn't. But at a time where games and companies took risks, you had some of the best fucking games that came out. But it's like fast forward to today, and what do you have? You have a remake, a remaster, a prequel, a sequel, yet another Star Wars throwaway bullshit, yet another Ubisoft flaccid game, right? And all the IPs that you grew up with going to shit. And, and they demand even more fucking money out of you, right? They demand your data. They want to moderate and ban you. They want to treat you like you're a fucking child and their mommy and daddy, like what's happening with Overwatch. And that's going to be another fucking video. But you have the Federal Trade Commission accusing Xbox of inflicting consumer harm and product degradation after massive price increase in the Game Pass. And, we've looked at, some of the games where at the base amount you're paying 70 fucking dollars, but for the ultimate booty hole edition you're paying somewhere up to between 179. But then through the Game Pass they're adding yet another legislature where, if you have the Game Pass you can just pay $18 a month, and there's a lot of perks. Like you gain access, at least at the time with the Game Pass, you gain access to a lot of older games. A lot of older products, right? And it's technically cheaper, but you don't own any of the games. They own your data. They own your games. They effectively own your entertainment. And if you say the naughty word, they can ban you. If you don't pay the Game Pass, they can ban you. At any point, they can do what they're doing now and raise the price. Like the Game Pass, I used to think it's a better product at the time because you gain access to a lot of things, but it's doing what Netflix is doing, where it's increasing the price, it's giving you less options, and it's like at one point you get in situations like these where they massively increase the price, but they don't increase the value, right? And they really tried, and Microsoft themselves said they wanted to be the Netflix of gaming. Well, the problem with that is, yet again, you do not own any of your games. And this is why I bought a PC, right? And I know Steam is still the middleman, and at one point Steam could get hit, and I might be in the same situation. But I also know that when it comes to like modders, when it comes to like indie gamers, when it comes to people who actually have the technical know-how, if you want to play, if there's a will, there's a way to play any game on your PC. And we know this with like emulators, right? Emulators of like Nintendo games, of Game Boy games on PC. When when Battlefield 2142 servers went down, not 2042, 2142, that came out in 2008, when EA decided they didn't want to play with the servers anymore and completely dropped it. It was the fans that kept the server alive. So people who purchased the fucking product and were like, you know what? We're not going to allow this product to be stripped from us. They are maintaining the fucking servers. So right now, you can play a game made in 2008, even though the company drops it. You can play it today, and I think it's that way with. Will that be that way with most games when these companies go belly up? Or when IP. And it's also, you have, the widest assortment of games. You have a good amount of indie games, a good amount of emulators if you have the technical know how. And all these make just the PC a better product, even better than the Xbox Game Pass. And at one point I thought the Xbox Game Pass was a good product, but then come to think of it, it's really not. Like, you're getting less games you can play, right? And I don't even know why I still have mine, because I downloaded, you know, I mean, I guess I don't have the Game Pass, but I have Xbox Live, and I play Elden Ring on it. But I think you could play that. Oh yeah, another problem is most games are always online, even in the fucking single player, which I think is the biggest cancer, right? It's like, so if you don't want to play with anybody, if you just want to play alone, like you still have to be online because it uses the Nuvo DRM, right? It uses all that, and you think of all these things, right? All these things where you pay $70, you don't own the game, you don't own the console, right? You don't even own you have to pay for the lot, like the Xbox Live, above paying for the damn internet. You're thinking all these things, and you're like, why do I still own this thing? Like, what do I gain? Like, okay, I gain, again, just these games from companies that used to be good, but now they're trash. And you really just get to think, like, it's because of all these things, right? And much, much, much more is why the FTC is going after them. They're like, look, you are fucking with the consumer, actively so. And I do believe, even though nothing will come from this, it's a warning, because though in America we have one rule, in, say, the EU, they have this thing called the Bureau of Consumer, is it Consumer Protection? Yeah. Where, again, you can just be like, look at this company. You just walk up to your city hall and be like, look at what this company's doing. And you don't need to show up for court. You don't need to pay anything. You just leave your name, leave the name of the company, and be like, they're doing this. And if a lot of people do this, and if you have a legitimate case, right, you have lawyers that are hired by the state, so it is in their interest to do what the consumer to do what that consumer wants, what the people want, and they will sue the company on behalf of the consumer, right? It's what happened in like Russia, because I had something similar. Like, one of the guys told a Steam moderator, called him the N word, and the Steam moderator shut down his entire library. So the guy went to the Russian government, pretty much, and was like, "Look, I paid for have $2,000+ worth of products in this, but just because I said a word, he's stripping it all away." And Russia sued Steam on that consumer's behalf, and Russia won, right? So the Russian government sued an American company and won. And I feel like you're going to have a lot more of these cases, and with the FTC going after Xbox, or Microsoft Gaming pretty much, right? And if Xbox or Microsoft does anything else, people are going to revert back to this and be like, well, even the FTC agrees, so you'll have an even bigger case. So that's why this is a good thing, and that's why I'm glad about it. Because even though the FTC might not particularly do anything about Xbox, right? Any consumer, or say the Bureau of Consumer Protection, or even maybe, God forbid, in America, people are like, why are you doing this? I don't appreciate this. Can cite this right here, right, and be like, okay, now I have an even stronger case. And I think this is the way people should act, because we live in this age where, at least in entertainment, where companies are demanding more and more money, but they're giving less and less value, and they're trying to normalize this. Like, for the same reason a left wing would be like, oh, racist jokes normalize racism. Well, bad fucking business products, bad business decisions normalize bad products. You know, and that's exactly what's happening here, right? It's a bad business decision, a bad product, and since most companies don't innovate, they just play follow the fucking leader. Like, they're going to try doing the exact same. Like, they're already trying to do this, right? I think Ubisoft Play is already trying to do the whole subscription based thing, right? Like, this is happening in real time as we speak. And things like this are probably just going to become even more prevalent unless the consumer themselves are like, no, we're not going to accept this. You're going to have more things like these. But anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Peace.